السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد النبي العالمين. أما بعد, one of the biggest struggles that people have in the process of life is to know that someone that is with them, that is watching them, that will stand on their behalf. So a person who is going through life, the most comforting thing is to have a parent alongside that ride who is watching this person and supporting them in the process, who is giving them the right advice in the process and is able to be there for them at every aspect of their turns of life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet ﷺ, as he's going through this journey of life of calling people towards Allah, sometimes a person says, like, I'm doing everything I can for my children, but they still are not doing what I want them to do. Sometimes a person can say that I'm oppressed and I've done everything in my power to figure out a way to leave this moment of oppression, but it's just not happening. The Prophet ﷺ is giving da'wah and people are just not listening to his call and turning towards the call of Allah. Rather, they're asking for signs. وَقَالُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. Can we get a sign like the sign of Musa's staff alayhi salam, or like Isa alayhi salam's power in his hands? Allah says to them, no, you don't need a sign. قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Tell them that Allah is enough of a witness that is watching everything that is happening. And on the day of judgment, the day that actually counts, you will be supported by Him. فَإِنَّكَ بِأَعْيُنِنَا. You are in our watchful eye. The people of Gaza, the people who are oppressed all over the world, people can say, well, who will compensate for their oppression? People are all supporting the oppressors. Allah says, no. قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Allah is enough of a witness. We can have the entire world stand up for the oppressor. And if Allah is on the side of the oppressed, then Allah is enough of a witness of it. No one can change it. We do our part and people may or may not accept. People may or may not change. But as long as we're doing our part, Allah is saying, I am the witness of that. If I raise my children correctly upon the right principles of Islam, Allah is a witness of that. If I stood and had the opportunity of earning haram, but I said no, and no one else saw it, no one else knew my struggle, but I said no to haram, Allah is a witness of that and Allah will reward that. If I had the opportunity towards supporting someone and I supported them, but no one saw me, Allah is a witness of that. Every moment of our life that we do something to please Allah, the world, whether or not they recognize it, Allah is a witness of it. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, if I take someone's right, and if I oppress someone, the oppressed person normally does not have strong witnesses. They don't have people that side with them, because everyone wants to side with the person who has the power. So they stay quiet in regards to the oppressed. If we're in that situation where I'm taking someone's right, or I am taking from someone's well-being, Allah says, well, I am also watching that. قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. I know what is happening there. On the day of judgment, لَا ظُلْمَ الْيَوْمِ. There will be no oppression. The Prophet ﷺ talks about the goat that had horns that attacked another goat that didn't have horns. On the day of judgment, the animals who have no hisab, animals don't have an afterlife. They don't have hisab kitab. They don't have a reckoning. But because this animal oppressed another animal, though they have no concept of the afterlife, even the animal that was oppressed will have the opportunity of taking revenge. And imagine what would happen with human beings. So Allah says, Ya Rasulullah, be at ease. You've done what you're supposed to do. كَفَى بِاللَّهِ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Allah is enough of a witness. Allah is enough of a shahid for every aspect of our life. And the third element to this is, if no one sees the sins that we commit, Allah is also a witness of that. Allah is also present in those moments where no one else is present. And indeed, though it may be a sin that no one sees, knowing that Allah is watching should be enough of a motivation to seek forgiveness. Hasan al-Basri rahmatullahi alayhi says that when a person sins, they sin in one of two situations. One, they assume Allah is not watching them. And the second is that they know Allah is watching, but they still tend to sin. He says the second is better, because at least they know Allah is watching. And that will motivate them to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ayah finishes off with Allah saying, the verse of the day that we had allocated, يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Allah knows all of that which is in the heavens and the earth. مِنْ أَعْلَى وَأَدْنَى. Allah knows what's happening with Jibreel, the greatest creation of His in size, but He also knows what is happening with that ant, i.e., Allah knows if the child is oppressed in the home or if the father is oppressed. Everyone is in line with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is out of the scope of Allah's power. لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Over here, يَعْلَمُ, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says, يَعْلَمُ means يَغْلِبُ. Allah has power over everything in the heavens and the earth. And Allah ends off the verse by saying, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْبَاطِلِ. Despite knowing that Allah is watching, Hassan al-Basri rahmatullah says, again, knowing that Allah is watching is the greatest strength that a person has because it keeps him in line. It allows them to move. There's a story, and I'll end with this. My older brother one day was driving. We're from Michigan on 94. And he's driving and he's speeding because all, BMW drivers speed. So he's going through speeding and a cop pulls him over after like some time. And he says, he comes and he opens the window and says, brother, I've been following you for 20 minutes. I was hoping that you would give me an excuse not to pull you over. But you kept speeding. For 20 minutes, I want to go home, my shift is done, but you didn't give me an opportunity to go home. I've been watching you for 20 minutes. So my brother mentioned that from this, he told the cop, you taught me today how gracious God is. Because Allah and God has been watching me my entire life. And He has still not pulled me over. He has still given me the opportunity, ample opportunity, to continue seeing despite my eyes looking at impermissible things. Ample opportunity for my hands to be used, my ears. Allah is so gracious. He's following us. But He's given us opportunity. Allah says, despite all of this, whoever still follows the batil, falsehood, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. They're the biggest losers. The word loss in the Quran is completely associated with the lack of reward in the akhirah. Man al-muflis, who is a bankrupt person, the one that shows up on the day of judgment and was hoping for a pack and a heap of reward, but they have nothing. They're the losers. Allah says these people will be the biggest losers because on the day where their financial investment would give them the most benefit, it doesn't exist anymore because now it's all gone. So this verse summarizes the power of Allah's presence within our lives and the power of Allah's presence within the lives of the oppressed and the oppressors. May Allah allow us to be amongst those that can live with the mentality that Allah is the shahid. Allah, shahid doesn't mean seeing. Shahid means present. Present and knowing every aspect of what is happening with this person internally and externally. May Allah bless you all, reward you all. Inshallah, we'll be here tomorrow as well for iftar. On behalf of Miftah Institute, I encourage you all to join us. Inshallah, we'll be here for Taraweeh as well tomorrow. It's beautiful being in your community. May Allah bless the community for inviting us and having us. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.